Hi, in this video I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the integration we have between the project schedule and the financial projection worksheet that we've built. If you watched the overview video, you'll recall that we don't require you to rebuild your entire process. We're using information from various sources that you're probably already using. So we have Microsoft Project for project schedules. If you're using Project Server, we can pull that data from Project Server into our smart form, and you don't even have to change how you're managing your schedule. Okay, so when we look at the project, you'll notice I have just a normal project schedule. This is my PMI project. So a lot of the PMI type activities are going to be built out in here. I build a charter, etc. But I don't care about all that stuff as far as financial reporting. So I can manage my schedule however I want, but you'll see these tasks I have highlighted. These are the tasks that I care about for reporting. So when we estimate our financials, we want them to align to the schedule, but we don't want all the detail of the schedule to affect our financials. We can do financial projections in project. However, there are certain security concerns about locking down the information. If you have a 1 hour task with a resource of a certain rate on there, it's impossible to hide what that rate is without some custom solution. So in this case, we're moving the financials into a separate system, but we're integrating it back in with the project schedule so the two are always in sync. So you can see I have this task type column I've created. This is a custom field in Project Server that's allowing me to flag the tasks that I want to report against. So at the top I have a phase. So I just say that's a phase. If this one is a expense category, that means I want to report some expenses and financials against that task. And then I also have review gates, which is basically, it's more or less a milestone, but it's a higher level milestone that we want to report consistently across all the projects. So in this case, I have a go live flag. So all the projects in my organization, I want to see their go live date. Okay, and then on the right side, of course, you see your Gantt chart type breakdown of the project schedule. I want you to focus on, let's look at initiation activities and these dates here. So this task is 19 days long. This is a summary task, 9/3 to 9/27. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into our financial projection worksheet, and we'll show you how we're integrating the project schedule with the financial sheet here so we can estimate accurately. So we've created a custom ribbon here called PPMS, and on it we have a number of buttons. All of them are grayed out, and we'll focus on those later. The first thing I want to look at is this connect button. This is going to allow us to pull the list of project schedules from Project Server that a given user has access to. So in this case, these are all the projects that I'm allowed to see. So I'll select my project and click Connect. And you can see all the tasks for that project that I had marked as a certain task type that I want to report on. Those all get pulled into this spreadsheet. And then I've dynamically built out a table on the right, which is going to allow me to estimate projections based on the task date. So you can see it's kind of like a Gantt chart type breakdown you see on the right. So if I look at this initiation activities, 9/3 to 9/27, and that's going to match exactly what we talked about before, 9/3 to 9/27. If I change one of these dates, so let's bump this one out here, say it's 25 days, that expanded that task and it's now 9/3 to 10/25. And it's also changed all the rest of my dates in the project schedule as well. So let me go publish that. And then I'll go to my smart form here and I'll just refresh. And there you can see my table is updated automatically when I refresh the project. So every time I open this, I'm always getting the latest of what the project schedule has so I can estimate financials accurately against that same schedule. Now, just briefly, I want to point out that we have phases in that one project, but it doesn't really matter how we mark this up. I have another project here that is a Scrum type project, basically reporting my financials at a sprint level, and then a phase would be a release. Pretty much any methodology you can use Microsoft Project for, you can use our solution for. It's very flexible. Okay, and that's all I had for the integration piece. Join us for the next one, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the smart form and saving a baseline and entering projections.